When referring to the U.S. Army Air Force, which changed its name from the U.S. Army Air Corps in mid-1941, I used the shortened, modern term Air Force instead of the period-correct plural Air Forces. As I put the final touches on this manuscript, the U.S. Army announced the reformation of the 11th Airborne Division. They'll serve as Arctic warfare specialists in climates and conditions far removed from the tropical crucible where the division's history was forged. I know they'll accomplish their mission with the same dash and dedication as did their World War II forebears. James M. Fenelon, Texas, 2022. Prologue. Leyte Islands, Philippines. 1000, Monday morning, November 27, 1944. The single-file column of American paratroopers trudged down a narrow jungle trail, thick with ankle-deep mud. The vegetation gleamed green under an incessant drizzle that had turned the track into a quagmire and made every step a chore. Hunched against the weight of their packs, they were a staggered line of olive-clad sameness, their helmets and equipment making one man indistinguishable from the next. It was their first patrol into enemy territory, and they were on edge. Each man eyed the dense vegetation on both sides of the trail. It was a mottled emerald wall, uncomfortably close, almost claustrophobically so, an ideal concealment for an ambush. Every sound or movement drew their attention. The mystique of their adversaries' jungle fighting prowess was built on years of battlefield success and effective propaganda. The Japanese, the fabled supermen of Asia who survived for days on a ball of rice, carried samurai swords, and were merciless in victory, were infamous for their cunning use of camouflage and surprise attacks. It was easy to imagine them lurking in the shadows, like jaguars waiting to pounce. Private Norman Honey, a 20-year-old Hopi Indian from Arizona, led the column downhill toward a small clearing on the edge of a river. Before stepping out from the undergrowth, he took a knee and slowly raised his rifle. After years of training for and anticipating this very moment, there they were, 2 Japanese soldiers crouching just a few dozen feet away on the riverbank, washing their clothes. Honey's squad leader, Sergeant Mike Olivetti, signaled to the men behind him. Enemy sighted. He then hunched his way back down the line to Lieutenant James E. Wiley, reporting the pair of Japanese up front. "Kill the sons of bitches and move the column forward," said the lieutenant without hesitation. Behind them was Charlie Company's full complement of more than 130 men, and he wanted to keep them moving. But when the column halted, the men plunked down like a row of dominoes, burdened with full packs, rifles, mortars, machine guns, and as much ammunition as possible. Any pause was an opportunity to get off their feet. Olivetti nodded and reversed his route. A minute later, the pop of 2 shots ring out. They were followed almost immediately by an unexpected barrage of rifle fire. What's happening? Is it an ambush? Wiley and the men up the trail had no idea. Honey, clutching a bleeding wound, stumbled past. He didn't stop to answer questions. He kept moving down the line of wide-eyed troopers in search of a medic. Wiley yelled his men into action. The next squad dropped their packs, grabbed a few extra bandoliers of ammunition, and charged into the clearing. There, they found men sheltering behind stumps and fallen trees. Olivetti lay in a heap, dead. Sergeant Colbert Renfro threw himself to the ground and squeezed off a few shots at the far bank. He couldn't see the enemy, but the incoming fire snapped in from that direction. He knew the Japanese used smokeless powder in their ammunition, and the lack of muzzle flashes made them almost invisible in the thick undergrowth. All around Renfro, men were getting hit. Lieutenant Wiley was the next to die. Troopers started leapfrogging back toward the trail,